Hi, I'm attorney Ben Schwartz. Today we're going to answer a question from John in Rehoboth, Delaware. John wrote in, he said, I was injured in a car accident. It was not my fault and I'd like to make a claim, but what I really want to know about is my spouse. Does my spouse have a right to make a claim? And so this is a really good question. The answer is that it's a loss of consortium claim. Loss of consortium is a type of personal injury claim where the spouse who has been affected within the marital relationship has a right to receive compensation for the effects on the marital relationship. So I'll give you an example. Let's say that if you're injured in an accident, you're rear-ended by a drunk driver while you're stopping at a red light, you sustain shoulder injuries in this accident, and typically you would be mowing the grass and doing things around the house, but now you can't because your arm is in a sling. Your spouse is going to go do the grass, do the hedges, do the things around the house that you normally would have done, and now your spouse has a right to sue the at-fault driver who rear-ended you, and the right is to receive compensation for the ways that this accident and your injuries have affected the spouse in the marital relationship. So in order to make a loss of consortium claim, now John, I'm assuming you're from Rehoboth, Delaware, I'm assuming that the accident was also in Delaware, so the Delaware law applies to everything here. To make this claim, your spouse, your husband, would have to have been your legally married spouse as of the day of the accident, and you have to be able to establish through some competent evidence that there has been an effect on the marital relationship with your spouse picking up the slack. So, how would we show that? Of course, we would do that through his testimony, that he has had to pick up the slack. We can do it through your testimony. We will, as trial lawyers, we're looking for documentary evidence. Are there things, for example, you typically mow the grass and do the hedges? Is your spouse going to be able to produce some credit card receipts where they went to the True Value Hardware and got supplies for lawn care? Are your neighbors going to be able to come in and testify that the spouse has had to pick up the slack, that typically for the last 10 years you're the only one out there doing the yard work, but now your husband is doing the yard work? These are the type of things that we want to look at to see if we can get documentation. But the direct answer to your question is yes, there's a right to receive compensation under a Delaware loss of consortium claim. Thanks for asking the question. Very good question. I'm attorney Ben Schwartz. If you have questions for me about personal injury cases generally, car accident cases, or dog bite cases, or slip and fall cases, send me an email. My email address is ben.schwartz@schwartzandschwartz.com. Send me any questions you have, and maybe we can answer them in video format on our video blog. Thanks for watching.